Previous week we went to UW. We went to Murdoch the other time and gave out tracts for open day. Right? There's a stall. That was set up. All right. So I was walking around looking at them. Then they look at us, and then I didn't really know what they were. And then they walked past our store. So I gave the store person a tract. Okay, a tract and our church invitation, and another person say, "I'll take one of yours. I'll take one of yours if you take one of mine." All right. So I say, "Okay." Then I say, "But you must read ours, and then I will read yours." So, all right. Okay. So she took, and we exchanged. And I look at it, organ donation. Organ donation. So there's a question here about organ donation. Should Christians donate organs? All right. So to explain to the Jennifers and so on, organ donation is this. All right. Organ donation is not you have an organ at home and then you donate. All right. Organ donation is your body parts are made of organs. All right. You have the kidney organ, you have the eye as an organ, you have the heart as an organ, you have lungs as organs. All right. Those are your organs. All right. Your bodily parts, inside and outside you. Okay. Your organs. Now, so they say donate your organ. All right. Is it wrong? So how many kidneys do you have? Jennifer? Haven't studied, right? One?
No,
two. We have two kidneys. How do you know?
because my dad told me.
Your dad told you, all right? Your dad took the time to tell you. We got two kidneys. Okay, we got two kidneys. Do you need all two to function? Dad didn't tell you. You don't need, right? You need at least one, but you don't need necessarily two, right? So, okay, Jennifer, you know it's a kidney, right? Do you eat kidney at home? Not the human kidney. Do you all like kidney? Do you all cook kidney for her? No, not popular here. Oh, okay. So kidneys, all right? So we have two kidneys. So organ donation societies, they come to you and say, since you have two kidney, and Shama Maria rightly pointed out that you only need one, but you need at least one, so you can keep one, why don't you give the other one away? All right? Because there are those people who they have kidney failures. Their kidney fail. Both kidney fail. And like Shama Maria said, we need at least one, right? So if both fail, you're in trouble. All right? You can't clear waste from your body, so in trouble. So he said, all right, human, since you have one extra kidney, why don't you donate that organ to this person? And they can put it into the human being, sew it up, and get it to work for that person. So each one have one kidney. So both can live happily. Okay? Should Christians do that? No. Okay. No, why? It's their body. Should you share your lunch with me? So why don't you share your kidney with me? Because God's holy temple. Wow, this lady is very powerful. Because God's holy temple. Now, okay. Did God say if someone is cold, don't just tell the person, all right, you're cold. Well, God bless you. Be warm. Good night. Go away. God say, no, we should help the person, right? We should help the person. Now, the principle for organ donation, generally, the Christian belief, it is okay for organ donation. All right? It is okay for organ donation. Now, the principle is God has given you extra. All right? It's okay. If you can help the other person, it's okay. Okay? Now, so that is when you're living or you're about to die, you carry an organ donor card around, right? So if you say, I'm willing to be an organ donor, you carry a card around. If you get into an accident, and then you're almost dying, but you're still living, all right? Means your organ is still living also, all right? That's when, but they know that you're going to die, and then I think family permission will be sought one more time, and then they will take that organ that you choose to donate, all right? You can choose what you want to donate, all right? Then they take the organ. There are many people who are on waiting list for kidneys, for parts of bodies, all right? So they're waiting list. Yes, Shalom, yeah?
It's like if everyone's on the waiting list, that means everyone has people have no kidneys and they're just waiting.
Yes. So what happens when someone has no kidney? They die. If they remain long without kidney, they will die. But hospitals, they have machines, all right, that they plug to their bodies, and they help to clean the kidney, all right, to keep it as much as it can be used. That's why they are waiting for someone that can give them a good kidney, all right. So they can live, but they're always living with a machine, very expensive, very troublesome. But if someone can donate a kidney, then you can live normally. All right? Answer your question? Okay, so now, so donor organ donation, generally the belief is okay. Okay, we can't find a biblical principle that says no. But then it leads to the next question. The next question is, what about donating your body for scientific research, for research? Okay, Shalomia said no. Why do you think so? You don't know. You just want to say no. All right, so now, who thinks it's okay for scientific research? Who thinks it is not? Not okay. All right, 1 not okay, 2 not okay, 3 not okay, right? 4 not okay, right? The question is, why is it not okay, right? Okay, and why is it not okay? Now, the main problem is this. The main problem is typically, when you say you give your body after you die for scientific research, the typical expectation is you cannot define and control what they do with your body. Okay? Okay? And the biggest problem is typically after they have, okay, so you donate your body, you're dead, maybe they cut you up and then they experiment all sorts of things on you. What do they do with the remaining part of your body? What do you think they do? Yeah, what do you think they do? They throw in the garbage bin. All right? They throw it into a certain kind of garbage bin, so long as they don't cook it and feed people. Now, they throw in some sort of garbage bin. Usually they what's that word? They burn it up. Cremate. Thank you. Yes. Cremate. They cremate it. Cremate. All right. Jennifer and the young ones, you know what is cremate? Cremate means, it's not that cream you put in your coffee mate. No. Cremate. All right. Cremate is they burn the body. All right. They burn the body. Okay. They burn the body. They cremate the body. All right, so learn new words. All right, cremate. Okay, now they cremate the body. And should Christians cremate our body? No. Just now at lunch, someone walked up to me and said, I have a question, a private question. Can I ask you? Oops, it's a private question. I'm just sharing it. All right, but it's not that private. It's what we always preach in church. So the person said, I went to my lawyer to write my will. And the lawyer asked me, after you die, do you want to be buried or to be cremated? So she wasn't sure, but she remembered that it was preached on the pulpit. So the person asked me, should I cremate or should I bury? And then I say, what do you think? The person said, bury. I said, do you understand why? Do you understand why Christians should not cremate and we should always go for burial? Shalomia? You're in school, it's like just keep putting out hands. Why do you think so?
Because it's not good.
It's not what?
Good.
It's not good. The standard answer. All right. Now, why is it not good? When you read the Bible, you will see in every instance believers that God mentioned about their death. When God mentioned it, God always mentioned burial. God mentioned the burial of, who is the famous one? After that, they can't find the body. Yes. Okay. But the famous one, where God personally buried him. Wouldn't you like to be personally buried? Who?
Elijah.
Elijah went to heaven without being buried. It's Moses, right? Moses. Okay? Next time must deduct marks. Deduct marks. For wrong answers. Now, Moses, remember God buried Moses personally. And no one knows where Moses was buried. In fact, God said, I bury him personally. In fact, Satan and the angel, the great angel, can't remember which one, they fought over Moses' body. Okay, Satan wanted Moses' body. Now, if you have Moses' body, what you think the people will do? They will definitely worship Moses' body. God knew that. So God personally buried him in a place where he could not be found. No one knows. Okay? Now, so God mentioned about burying Moses, Abraham's wife, Abraham, Isaac, all bury. As long as believers, you search every single case, you will never come across a single instance when God talk about cremation. In fact, whenever you hear cremation, there are two things in the Bible. One is God's judgment. How did Nadab and Abihu die? How did Nadab and Abihu die? Nadab and Abihu were the two priestly sons, and they offered strange fire, and God sent fire down from heaven and burned them up. Right? Very sinful acts. Burn them up. Burning. When God judges. When God judges the unbelievers, always fire also. Right? Always fire. Always fire. And one of the things that you read, God says, don't do what the Canaanites do. Remember this morning I preached? God said, make sure you get all the Canaanites out of the land. Kill all of them. Right? The Canaanites have this practice of burning their children. They believe their gods want them to be burnt. So whenever you read the Bible of the practice of burning any bodies, it's always pagan practices. You know what's pagan? Jennifer, pagan means the unbelievers. All right, those that worship idols. All right, the pagan beliefs. So in the Bible, only pagans practice cremation. Understand that? Never God's people. So based on the principle, Christians should not practice cremation. In our constitution, it is written very clearly. Okay, we will not conduct the funeral if it is cremation. Okay, so understand that. Maybe the elderlies in this room, the seniors, the adults, must remember that. All right, so I'm still trying to convince some seniors in church, they are intent on cremation. Today I asked this lady who asked me. So she said, yes, I understand. I said, so what will you choose? She said, of course, burial. Okay. Then I say, well, it's in the Bible, good. But I said, but ultimately, why do you choose? And she said this, which is a very good statement. She said, if I obey God all my life, I obey God all my life, why should I not obey Him unto death? Paul said, in life or in death, I obey God. We often think only in life I obey God. So while I'm living, I obey God. But when I die, whatever. God doesn't want us to be cremated. So even when we die, we should give instruction that even when I die, please make sure that I'm obeying God. Can you obey God after you die? Can. How? Tell your relatives, make sure don't cremate me. All right, bury me. Did Joseph tell them the same thing? What did Joseph told the people? He said, later on, God will take you out of Egypt. Please remember to take my ashes with you. Did he say that? He said, please remember to take my bones with you. All right? So although the Egyptians practice burial, practice cremation, practice whatever, Joseph made sure that he's buried. When he died, bring his bones along. All right? They said, make sure you take my ashes. No. Make sure when we reach there, you burn. Now, this is the idea. So now, I come back to this. I'm digressing, but I want to make sure I cover this thoroughly so that when you all grow up, you all don't think of cremation. Now, so what is the problem with giving our bodies for scientific research? Typically, they cremate. They burn your body. So we shouldn't. Okay? Now, that is one key reason. Now, another thing is, why do people want to cremate? Do you know why? Why? Minus mark, huh? Yeah.
Because they think when they burn it, they put it in the water sometimes, and they think the body will go over as well.
Yes, very good. How come you know that?
My dad did.
Your daddy. Okay. All right. So, according to the encyclopedias, that is correct. So, like this elderly man, I've been talking to him, convincing him. I say, why? Because there's a Chinese saying, 四海為家. 4 seas become my home. 四海 is 4 seas, 為家 becomes my home. That is the concept. Because when you burn, cremate, then the ashes, all right, they throw into the sea will flow everywhere, right? Go to all different seas. Now they say, but if you bury me, I'm stuck in the same place underground all the time. But if you cremate me, you can go out and see. So they say, what he wants is to get cremated, go out, someone take a boat out to sea and just throw him into the wind. Then the 4 winds will take him all over the world on a holiday. What happens to your soul? What happens to you immediately after you die? If you are a believer, you go to heaven immediately. How do you know? In the story of Lazarus and the rich man. All right, Lazarus went straight to God, to heaven straight away. So he goes straight to heaven. How come this person think that he'll be stuck underground if you bury him in one spot? So I'm forever stuck in this place. Because it's a superstition. So sometimes the elderlies, although they are Christians, some superstition remain with them. Hopefully through teaching, they begin to understand and then they move away from the superstition. The main thing is you want to obey God in life or in death. Okay, obey God in life and in death. Okay, so cremation. Understand that? We covered that thoroughly. Any question about cremation? No? But what happened is this. What happened to this? A Christian... Sorry, you have a question? Yeah.
I just heard that cremation is usually cheaper than being buried.
Thank you very much. Yes, that's the other thing. All right? So, yes. So, the other thing is this. Most people want to go for cremation because it's cheaper. It's cheaper to take a space in an urn in a slot. It's more expensive to buy a plot of land and bury the whole body. All right? The land space more expensive. Understand? So it's more expensive to bury. Then after that, there's maintenance also, right? After that, for example, my dad, we bury him. He's a believer. And every month, you have to pay someone to go cut the grass, tidy up the place, you know. So he said, oh, this is very expensive. Buy the land, very expensive. Right? Yes?
Do we have to bury in land?
In your backyard. Bury in the land. Must you bury it in a cemetery or bury in your backyard? You can bury in the backyard. I think you need to get some license. All right? Someone was buried in the backyard, in their garden recently.
I have a question. You know if your loved one dies?
You're on what?
If your loved one passes away.
Yeah.
Are we allowed to talk to them even when they're dead?
When they're dead, when you talk to them, do you think they can hear?
No.
Why? Because if they're believers, they're immediately with God already. So they can't hear. All right?
They can't talk to them.
Yes. No more. No more communication with the dead.
So we can't.
Yes. Because the dead can't hear you. Right? The dead can't hear you anymore.
We can't talk to them, right?
Yes. No more. Right? When you go to heaven, you can look for them.
So,
Auntie, where are you?
You know when you die, when someone passes away,
Mm-hmm.
and like the loved ones want to, go to visit their grave,
Yep.
and then sometimes they talk to them. But are you allowed to?
Yeah, there's a superstition.
Are we allowed to? No.
No point because it's a superstition. Yeah, it's a superstition. Superstition means you believe in something that's not true. They believe that when they talk, the loved one in the ground still can hear. They cannot. They're in heaven. They're very busy talking to people in heaven and to God. And they're very excited there. So they can't hear us anymore. It's just the body rotting. That's all.
And ghosts don't exist.
Ghosts don't exist. Correct.
They're not real.
Satan exists. And his devils exist. All right? They may appear as ghosts. All right? But the dead can't hear. All right, so back to cremation. So it's cheaper and all that. So just because it's cheaper, should you do it? No, because we must obey God in life and in death. Okay? That is the principle. Another thing about cremation is this. Now, what happened if this building suddenly, after lunch, they forgot to turn off the fire, this building catch fire, all of us die now in the fire. And we all will go to heaven, so nice. All right? We all got roasted. We will get burnt. Oh no, I must jump out of the window. I'd rather die jumping out of the window, die on the road, than to get burnt. Because I should not be burnt. How? Now when it's that kind of situation, it is not you choose, right? You don't choose to be cremated. Right? If there's a fire, there's an earthquake, and then things explode, and then you get burnt. That is different. That is different. Can God bring you back together? Poor thing, those burnt ones cannot come back together. No. God is the creator. Even you're burnt to ashes, you rot on the ground, gone. But God can bring it together. So it has nothing to do with with I should not cremate because, wow, it's very difficult for God to piece all these molecules together after that. It's nothing to do with that. It's how God shows it in the Bible. It's always burial. Okay, God can bring you back together if you accidentally die in a fire. Okay, so enough of that. All right. So we covered genetically modified crop. We covered genetic engineering. We covered donating our bodies for research.
Is that good?
Okay, so we should not donate our bodies for research because they cremate you after that.
But
So
we're allowed to we can you know when we can, right?
we should not donate our body for research.
No, not research, if other people we can, right?
For donating organs?
Yeah.
Yes, that's all right.
So,
Yes, that's all right. What do we have here? Top 5 reasons why church dropouts, what church dropouts say, why they stop attending church. Now, please remember 66% of, well, I take the American view, they're the most readily available results. They stop attending church at least a year after turning 18. So from